Hey everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm glad you're here and welcome to another collaborative video from the Makers with Heart. This month, the Makers with Heart are featuring stencils, one of my favorite products that you can use with inks, mixed media, all different kinds of things. So I'm going to do a layout using the butterfly slimline embossing folder and stencils, and I'm only going to use the stencils in this pack. And then also this butterfly stencil from Stencil Pack 2 from the core catalog. So I'm going to use these pictures for my layouts. They're of a day trip to the butterfly pavilion north of where we live. And I got a few pictures of my husband and I and some pretty butterflies. Okay, so I'm going to use the Cosette papers along with Cosette scrapbooking and thin cuts. So off camera, I have stamped and created some ephemera to use on my layouts using some of the stamps and thin cuts from that set. And then I'm going to start with the light side of Seabrook for my base for my scrapbook layouts. Okay, so I'm kind of envisioning where my stenciling is going to go. It's going to be like on the right 2/3 of this 12 by 12 piece of Seabrook. And I'm going to go ahead and lay down that stencil from the core catalog. And I'm going to do some tone-on-tone stenciling. So I have Seabrook ink, and it's the light side of Seabrook. So I have treated all of these stencils ahead of time. I've sprayed them with some pixie spray, so they've got some tack to them. But if you don't have that product, you can use washi tape or some of the Close to My Heart masking tape to secure your stencils down in place. But I like using the pixie spray so that all those little nooks and crannies also get adhered down and ink doesn't scooch underneath the edges. So I'm just inking up these butterflies just loosely, just a really light wash. It's going to be subtle and kind of in the background. Okay, now I'm going to do some inking with some Distress Oxides. So I have Villainous Potion, Uncharted Mariner, and Speckled Egg. And I'm using blending brushes instead of the mini sponge tools that are usually used with oxides because I want a lighter wash of color. Having some technical difficulties here, so I'm going to secure that piece of cardstock down to my Versamat with a little bit of adhesive. Okay, that's better. So I'm just doing a light wash of color, covering some of the stenciled butterflies and going over to the right side of this 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. And then I'm going to go in with some Villainous Potion. And I'm just randomly adding some color. And the butterflies that I had stenciled, they are kind of brought to life by using the oxides on top of them. So they're not quite as subtle as they used to be. They're you can see them a little bit better. And then I'm going to go in with some Speckled Egg. And Speckled Egg is very close to the light side of Seabrook. So it just helps blend the other two colors together. And then over this color wash that I did, I'm going to use my other stencil. So this one's from the Slimline embossing folder bundle. And I'm using the first stencil of the butterflies that are just the open design of the butterflies. And I'm securing this down with some masking tape because the butterfly images are right next to the edge of that stencil. So I don't want to over stencil and go over the edges. So that masking tape will keep me protected there. And then I'm just going to go in with this sponge tool. I'm going to pounce some Wilted Violet. Now in retrospect, this one, the Wilted Violet turned out to be quite bright. So were I to do this again, I would choose more muted purple color like Dusty Concord. But this worked. I liked it. I wanted some bright butterflies that were different colors than the ones in my photographs. So I'm just pouncing on the stencil and making sure there's color filled in all of those openings. And ta-da, there's the magic. So I'm making sure that my oxide is completely dry by hitting it with my heat tool. And then I'm going to use this overlay. It's a detail overlay that matches the butterflies. It's the second stencil in this bundle. And I'm going to use some sapphire ink on top for some detail on each of these butterflies. So I'm using a blending brush and just going in and filling in all these openings with sapphire ink. And the combination of these two colors is so pretty. Okay. And there's the magic. Okay, so now I need to add a little more sparkle and bling. So I'm bringing in a clear shimmer brush and I'm tapping it out all over. So I like to get my shimmer brush started on a block. You shake them up really well so you get all that shimmery goodness into the brush. And then rather than squeezing it out over your project, you can do it over a block. Sometimes it comes out a lot. So that way it prevents any mistakes. And just tapping out some splatters. Okay, so now we're going to do the right side. And I've sped this up a little bit quicker. I'm going to show you the whole process all over again. So if you want to fast forward, that's cool. I'm doing the same thing, and I've set up my stencils in reverse. So the butterflies are going towards the left rather than the right. They're kind of going each way, but I've just done the stencils in reverse, and so that they'll be going towards the left when you look at the whole layout. So I've got my tone-on-tone stenciling done with Seabrook. And then I'll go in with my oxides and do a little ink blending. Same process. Of course, it looks a little bit different than the left panel just because the oxide blending, it's just random. Just adding color, bringing out those stenciled butterflies. Add some Villainous Potion and blend it all together with Speckled Egg. And then we'll be ready to lay down that other stencil. So pretty. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing and add some masking tape, and then we'll stencil those butterflies in Wilted Violet. Love being able to create my own background papers using stencils and inks or mixed media. You could use liquid pearls with these, paste, all kinds of cool products. But today I'm showing you ink. Okay, so we're going to pull that stencil off and then we'll lay down the overlay with the details. And first, I'm going to make sure that oxide ink is completely dry. And then I'll lay my stencil down. Oxide ink takes a little bit longer to dry and it can smudge, so be mindful of that. But if you use a heat tool on it, it dries pretty quickly. Then I'm going to add my details using sapphire ink and a blending brush. So be sure to check out the playlist at the end of this video to see all of the other videos that the Makers with Heart have done, and we're all using stencils in our projects this month, so you can see all the other cool projects that they've done with stencils. And I'll also put some information in the description below. Okay, let's create layouts with these background papers that we made. So these are the Cosette patterned papers, and I'm going to use the 2 zip strips. And then I'm going to cut this piece at 4.5 inches by 12. It'll be a simple layout because we got a lot going on with that stenciling. So then I'm going to bring in this other patterned paper, and it is going to frame my large butterfly picture. So I'm going to mat this with some black cardstock and some vanilla cardstock. So just checking, and decided I wanted vanilla to go next to the photograph. So I'm just cutting everything 1/4 inch larger. And then the black mat is going to be 3/8 of an inch larger. So it's going to be a skinnier little line around everything. And then I'm going to mat this Cosette pattern papers with black as well. So we'll have everything all stacked up. And then I'm going to create some mats for my other pictures as well. So this time I'm just going to use some French vanilla around these pictures. So one block is going to be 3x9, and the other block is going to be 4x6. Okay, actually it's 4x9. All right, so we're going to work on the left panel first. So I laid everything out, and I like the look of the design, but then I flipped over that piece of pattern paper, and I decided I liked the mulberry side better. So I'm going to use that instead of the green. Sometimes you don't know till you lay everything out and see it, but I liked the mulberry with the purple butterflies. So I changed my mind. All right, so we're just going to adhere everything, and then we'll stack those mats and my photo, and then we'll add that to the layout with some foam tape. Okay, so that's the basic design for the left, and then we'll do the right. So it's just going to mirror the left panel. So we'll put down that Cosette piece of mulberry and the zip strip. The zip strip has lots of pretty florals and butterflies on it. And then we'll add our photos. So I'm just going to add these to the mats that I created and add some foam tape, and then we're ready to add them to our layout. So we have my husband with some butterflies and some other pretty butterflies and flowers from the butterfly pavilion. Lots of our outings, they're pictures of my husband and everything we're doing, and I rarely take a selfie with us. I try to remember to, but this time I didn't. So okay, so that's the basic layout, and now we're ready to add ephemera and stickers and such. So my title is going to read Good Times. So it's from the sticker sheet. I used a lot of stickers from this sticker sheet. I like to fussy cut them out of the carrier sheet so that I can put them down on my layout before I make them sticky, just to see what they look like first. And that way I can change my mind if I want to, and it's not stuck down completely, or not stuck down at all yet. So it helps with the decision-making process. So I've stamped some of these images, like this butterfly here and that stamp image, and cut them out with the coordinating thin cuts. And then I'm going to add some of these. They're from the Dots collection. This is purple, and there's some hearts in here that are mulberry colored, so I'm going to scatter a whole bunch of them around. They're a little hard to see on screen here, but they add some nice dimension and texture to the layout. And then I'm going to make another cluster down here, starting with this circle journaling spot sticker. And then I'll add in some of the greenery and flowers. And fortunately, the stickers are a little forgiving because I had to pick them up and shuffle them around quite a bit because I kept changing my mind on how I wanted it to look. So they are forgiving. If you're very careful, you can lift them. I'll add that little stamp underneath. Postage stamp, and some other items. And then off camera, I added another butterfly. Okay, then we can work on the right side. I have another journal spot sticker. We'll add some more stamp. One is a stamped sticker, and another is a stamped image. And some greenery. Had to do a little surgery there to make it fit. And that's okay, you can cut your stickers. Okay. And then there's a couple of paint wash stickers from the sticker sheet, and I'm going to use those to journal on. Okay. And there's my finished layout. So I will make a list of all the supplies that I used to create this double page spread, and I'll put it in the description below with links, and you can do some shopping. All of these supplies, most of these supplies became available April 1st with the new catalog. And again, check out that playlist at the end of this video so you can see the other cool things the Makers with Hearts have done with stencils this month. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it, and then you'll be able to find all of my videos. And thanks for watching.